All right, we are live at the RNC. Nomiki Konst joins us. She's got a great show on SiriusXM that's actually going to get expanded on August 8th. It's called The Filter, and she's also doing a podcast from the RNC. She'll also be doing a podcast from the DNC. We're going to get to that in a second. But also,
but wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. If you order now, the 11th knife comes for free. All right, now. Nomi's also a Bernie Sanders delegate, so that's very, very interesting. First, the podcast. Where can people get the podcast?
The podcast, we're pushing it out on my Facebook page, Nomiki Konst, also on Twitter. That's probably the best way of doing it. We're going to be cross-promoting it with a few other groups as well, sort of packaging it together. But it's to promote The Filter, which is on SiriusXM Progress Channel 127. We're going to continue the podcast with the SiriusXM show so that those of you millennials who don't have SiriusXM or cars, who don't have the app on their phone, can also listen to a podcast.
All right, that sounds perfect. Okay, now, next week we're going to the DNC. You're an actual delegate. You're a Sanders delegate. So first, fill the audience in on what does a Sanders delegate do at the DNC when Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee?
Well, the first night Bernie Sanders will be speaking, and there's going to be a roll call vote on the nominee, and we will be casting our votes for Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
And then some of that's strategic, some of it is up. Bernie, I think a lot of people would feel very frustrated if they weren't able to cast their vote. He did win 46.5% of the national election, right? The primary.
Well, I was told by the mainstream media it wasn't close.
It wasn't close at all. Yeah. This woman who had every single elected official, every single county chair, 6-7 years beforehand, 460 superdelegates stacked in August of the year before, billions of dollars, hidden through other organizations funneling through, couldn't let go of the independent Vermont senator who got 46% of the vote.
That's right. So that makes sense. Of course, you guys are going to cast your ballot for the person that people voted for at home, and that's why you're their delegate. So what else do you do? Are there committees? Are you on the agriculture committee? Like what happens?
So it's a little complicated, a little wonky, and a lot of this hasn't been done in 20, 30 years since we had the last contested convention when Jesse Jackson was a contested convention, and before that, you had Ted Kennedy and Jimmy Carter in 1980. So this is much closer election, and I think. We had a platform committee meeting about 2 weeks ago where we went through the amendments after the platform drafting committee submitted their draft of the platform. And we voted on the amendments. And Bernie decided not to submit minority reports, which essentially would have given us a vote on the platform issues the amendments that were not won or lost by either side. At the convention. He decided not to submit it because he doesn't want to have a floor fight on those issues. However, we have the Rules Committee, which is this weekend, and the Rules Committee is really important. That is where we set the rules for the party. That's where Bernie Sanders is going to be pushing for to end superdelegates, to reform the superdelegate process, to open up our primaries, to change the way that we finance our party, because the business model is broken in our party. We look for candidates who can raise the most money, and those also happen to be the candidates that probably don't have as much experience in their communities. They're not always community organizers or activists or understand the issues as much, and then we wonder why we can't pass things in Congress. So
Nomi, on the substance, on policy issues, Bernie Sanders has already won on a lot. So, hey.
Oh my God. Oh my
okay.
God.
The funny thing is, I actually thought it was Roger Ailes for a second.
It is Roger Ailes.
Hey, Roger, stay away from the women, okay? I'm gonna. Okay, don't get anywhere near Nomi.
That can ruin your show, say.
Give me a contributorship. I've been working for you guys for a while.
He hasn't flashed his penis at anyone yet. You're an exclusive.
Okay, I'm far too close to your penis. Yes.
Okay, come back.
Okay,
Come back.
okay.
We've ruined him enough.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
TYT.
Okay, now that interview got interrupted a little bit, but that was kind of fun.
As someone who appears on Fox News regularly, I'm sure they're going to love that I was, that was great.
Yeah.
Who was that, by the way? Do we know?
Well, that's Conan's show.
It was Conan's show. I didn't know if it was like a copycat of Conan's show. Oh
no,
my God.
I don't think so.
I think
I think that was the real deal. Not the real deal Roger Ailes.
Wow.
but,
Wow. It
yeah.
looked like him. It really did.
Yeah. Well, no, seriously, when he was first walking by, I was like, wait. And I was like, no way. No, yeah. So anyways.
Wow. That's what you get with live TV.
That's right. Okay, now back to wonky stuff about delegates. Okay, no, in all seriousness, so Sanders pushed for $15 minimum wage. He pushed for more closer proposals to his education plan. He won on a lot of those things. I assume those policy fights are over. Is the superdelegate thing the last thing that he's pushing on? Yeah. Okay, and if it is, what do you think is the likelihood of success?
You know, what's interesting about superdelegates, Hillary Clinton and her campaign was advocating against superdelegates in 2008 because that was the difference. That was the dividing force. I think that there may be some success around this. You know, it seems that there are not all Hillary supporters are lockstep, neoliberals. There are a lot of people who've been elected officials, who are part of the party. Oh my God, Roger Ailes is making his rounds.
Triumph
is
back.
This is hilarious.
All right.
Oh my gosh, it's too funny. How to like tune out Roger Ailes over there and triumph the
So
insult
by the
dog.
way, so I probably shouldn't ask you this. You appear on Fox News?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Regularly.
Nothing untoward?
Nothing. No, no breaking news here.
Okay.
I will say that I am Team Megan. I think she's been so kind to me, and she's such a great host, and she's such a woman's woman. She really supports smart, bright, fiery women of all different perspectives, and I'm really grateful. I will actually be going on Fox News on Monday and from the convention floor with Megyn Kelly. So
yeah, and these conservatives that are rallying around Roger Ailes, Judge Report saying, "Oh, it was just a hug." Well, 20 women apparently have come forward now. I don't think
that's how it works. It's like once one comes out, several come out. I'm going to stay out of all that for legal reasons, but
yes.
But for the most part, I think that Fox News is entering a new era, and I think it's going to be more reflective of the future conservative movement. That it's going to be a younger movement.
Well, that is going to be fascinating to watch to see what the new era is going to be. So now let's talk about this convention for a second. So as a deeply progressive person, what was your take on it?
I know this has been said over and over, it's Bizarro Land, but it was like the circus, it was like the Wizard of Oz. I watched every single night from a very visual perspective. This is Donald Trump was playing like the mafia boss of the party, meaning shaming Ted Cruz last night, pushing Mike Pence to the bottom of the evening so he didn't get as much attention. He wanted to show everybody he was the alpha dog. He is in charge of the party. There's no way they're going to have a coup and try to take over the party from him. But it was also really, all those things that they talked about, make America safe again, make America one again, make America first again. None of that stuff was just make America work again. How many conversations about jobs were there? None. It was brilliant. Really, I don't agree with any of it. Let me make that point. But it was brilliant. Right. The first day, the Melania Trump debacle was a distraction from all of the other crap that happened, right? The national security issues. The second, and he appeared on stage with her, appeared soft. The second day, he came in on a big monitor like he was the Messiah. Yep. And I just thought, this man is thinking about every single aspect of this convention. And the second day was supposed to be about work, but all they talked about was Hillary Clinton. Because if there's one thing that Republicans can unify around, it's hating Hillary Clinton.
No, that's for sure.
And, listen, I think that everything that happened with Ted Cruz was strategic. They gave Ted Cruz that spot, knowing very well that he was not going to be friendly. They gave him 12 minutes initially, then it went to 20 minutes, and then he went over. They saw the speech ahead of time. They knew Ted Cruz was not going to endorse, and guess what? The booze came from the New York delegation, and they were whipped. It was like they whipped the booze on the floor, and then out comes Donald Trump to take control of the situation. It was masterful.
Yeah. No, it was a show. There's no question about that. One more thing then, Nomi. Does it make you more likely to vote for Hillary Clinton in the general election?
I'm not there yet.
I'm
not going to vote for Donald Trump, and I'm not voting for Jill Stein. Let me make sure. But
But did this at least get you closer to Hillary Clinton, given the level of vitriol here?
And I'll tell you why. And I know my supporters are going to be really upset at me for saying this, but some of the news that broke this weekend, which really got lost in the media, was Trump's connections to Russia. You have Paul Manafort, who was consulting in the Ukraine, basically working for Vladimir Putin for several years. You have Mike Flynn, who spoke, General Flynn, who also, he worked for RT, and RT is a propaganda outlet, in my opinion, for the Russian government, so much so that he appeared in several events sitting next to Vladimir Putin. Then there are the NATO comments about dismantling NATO or restructuring NATO. I mean, he's changing his mind every day. NATO is essentially Putin's biggest opponent, right?
Yep.
And it is a geopolitical, whether or not Donald Trump realizes it or not, he has become a tool of Vladimir Putin. It sounds crazy, right? It's like absolutely insane to talk about that.
Well, I mean, Newt Gingrich this morning said Estonia is a suburb of St. Petersburg.
Right.
Like saying, go ahead, Russia, take Estonia. We're not going to defend them even though they're a NATO ally. It's Trump, if he's not a Putin plant,
Yeah.
he's playing the role of one perfectly.
Right. You could not script this better. And Putin is also very visual in the way that he speaks to his, he always portrays himself as strong. It's a little eerie. It's out of the
it's the
dictator's
same
toolbox.
strongman mold.
Yeah. So Hillary Clinton at least understands geopolitics. I won't say that she's been on the right side of many decisions, but I think there's a reason why Lindsey Graham and John McCain have been adamantly opposed to supporting Donald Trump, and is because they do understand the geopolitics of this country, whether we like it or not.
All right, everybody check out Nomiki Konst on The Filter. Channel 127.
Channel 127 on Progress Network. And tweet to everyone you know in the Democratic Party to end superdelegates. They're voting on it this weekend, and that could essentially determine the next presidential nominee for the Democrats.
Very important. Thank you, Nomi.
Thanks.
Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Appreciate it.